I think I'm live. I think it's live. Is it live? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Do I sound okay? I think it's working. Okay, hi. Welcome to an episode of Veronica Explains. I'm Veronica and YouTube is telling me I need to insert an ad. I started less than 10 seconds ago and YouTube has a thing on saying now would be a good time to insert an ad. No, now would be a really bad time to insert an ad. Inserting an ad right now would be terrible for you all, and I don't know that I would like that as a creator. So this is ridiculous. Why are they yelling at me about this right now? Hi everybody. So let's see. I'm checking out the chat. Everybody's talking. Yes, you sound okay. Sound check good. I'm using a different microphone today, and I'm all tapping on it. It's probably not good for it. And the reason why is I've noticed that every now and again when I shift over to look at the thing I'm working on, I go out of I use a shotgun mic typically, and it doesn't work out. So I'm trying a mic that hopefully follows me a little bit better and works out okay. So hooray, it's gonna be fun. So here's what we got today. I was using the internet yesterday, like you do, and I saw that BunsenLabs, which is a name I had not heard in a long time, has now released a new Openbox-based distro. They've finally released something based on Debian Bookworm, Debian 12. And BunsenLabs is a name I've heard of. I've never actually used their distro. I have tried Crunchbang++. Well, here, let me show you. Let's switch to the computer. Okay, I was looking up Openbox because I want to talk about that, but let's talk about this. So this is BunsenLabs, and I'm going to hide my face for a second so you can see the website. It is released on January 24th, 2024, which is awesome. This is really cool. It's new. It's not a new distro itself, but it's a new release of their distro, which is kind of exciting. I had kind of, in the back of my head, thought they had stopped, that they had defuncted, or whatever the word is, stopped offering a distro. But apparently they haven't, so I'm excited to give this a try. It consists of configuration and resource packages installed on top of Debian, and there are no changes to the way the Debian base system is administrated. Isn't that word administered? Administrated? Weigh in the comments if it's administrated versus administered. I'm curious about that. Anyway, it comes pre-configured with Openbox and a Tint 2 panel, Conky system monitor, and JG menu, a feature-rich desktop menu. And it's this part which I think is kind of exciting. So I wanted to go through some of these screenshots real quick. Yep, okay, people in the comments are saying administered. Administrated is one I don't know that word. Ooh, and somebody is saying I should subtitle in the Italian language. I would love to subtitle in the Italian language if I could. I don't speak Italian, but I don't know, maybe I can get one of those apps that teaches you a language and try to learn. I'm like an 8th Italian. I get the hair from my Italian side, so. And the under eye circles. Those apparently comes from all my Italian ancestors that have under eye circles. So it's fun. Okay, so this is what it looks like. You're talking about under eye circles. Okay, so it's pretty. This is a pretty Openbox. And if you're not familiar with Openbox, it's minimalist. Openbox, if you want to call Openbox kind of the grandparent of a lot of window managers and just a lot of the excitement about window managers, that might be a good way to do it. Openbox has been around for a while, and Openbox was a thing before the current kind of grouping of tiling window managers was ever a thing. It is not tiling. It doesn't tile. My main experience with Openbox was as a like a recovery media. So loading Openbox on minimal CD recovery or later USB recovery media that I would then use to boot into a Linux. That is my experience with Openbox. And making it look pretty was never really my goal here, but this is neat that somebody's done it. And BunsenLabs is a continuation of an earlier project called Crunchbang Linux, or Crunchbang the distro, or I don't know exactly how they referred to it. And that was a pretty well-liked project. And another successor has come from that distro called Crunchbang++. And I have not used Crunchbang++ other than briefly in a while. I used to play around on it periodically, but I don't think I ever used it for longer than a few weeks. So that might be a topic for a future video, is to now try Crunchbang++ and do a comparison. So let me know if that's something you want to see. Anyway, these screenshots look nice. I think I'm ready to try installing it. Oh, and I did pull up Crunchbang++ because I knew somebody was going to ask about it. They also have a version that runs on Debian 12. So at this point, I think we could do a comparison to comparison. So with all that, I pulled out my little non-Ventoy thing. I don't have anything against Ventoy. Ventoy exists. It's a good project. I like Ventoy. I've used Ventoy. But I use one of these, and the reason why is because I have had better luck on server hardware with this over Ventoy. That's all. It is not anything personal. I am aware of Ventoy's existence in this universe, and I respect and admire it. I'm going to use one of these. This is a fancy thing that when I plug it in, it's going to show me a bunch of ISOs on a little screen. And then I can select the one that I want. Ooh, the Linux cast. Hey there, how's it going? Okay, so this is my IODD. Here, let me switch to the screen. So you can see everything I got here. I've got a ton of ISOs loaded on this thing's drive. It has its own removable SD card, not SD card, its own removable SSD. It's a 2.5-inch SSD. I loaded like a spare 256 gig that I had lying around. And I can select, here, let me make it big so you can see it. Nothing wrong with Ventoy. I'm going to keep saying it. Nothing wrong with Ventoy. Ventoy is a great choice. Here's what I like about this thing. So can I make it? Can you see this? Maybe you can't see it. Come on. It's not going to zoom, is it? Try this. There we go. Okay. So this is the neat thing about this, is that I can select an ISO without needing to hit a boot manager or something like that. And this has some advantages in specific hardware circumstances, particularly, here, I'm going to be blurry. Oh, did it correct? There we go. Okay. This has some advantages when working with server hardware where, for whatever reason, the Ventoy bootloader isn't recognized. This is usually happened to me on servers, particularly very old servers. I've had this thing working on servers that are 20 years old as a boot media, and Ventoy, I've had some struggles with that. Nothing wrong with Ventoy. Ventoy is a great product or project. I have this, and this is what I know. So I already loaded up the BunsenLabs Boron is the code name for this one, and now I'm just going to restart this computer. Yes, IODD. Somebody said, what's the brand of this? Okay, so not sponsored. Just to throw it out there, this is not sponsored, but IODD ST400. That's the thing I've used, I've liked. I think Jeff from Craft Computing did a video on it not too long ago, so you can go check out that video if you're curious about it. Oh geez, people are picking on Ventoy in the comments. Oh no, that is not what I want. Don't pick on Ventoy. I don't want the Ventoy people coming after me. I like Ventoy. Let's see. Okay. Now let's go to the computer. I'm going to restart. See, it says, it shows that I installed a medium. It thinks it's a CD. That's another thing, is some boot managers like the CD-based stuff. You can see it actually loads it like it's a CD, which is kind of cool, or a DVD or whatever. Let's restart. And now you might not be able to see this first little bit because I don't have I should mention, I'm using an actual computer for this. I'm not using a virtual machine. This is the Dell i5 8th gen whatever generic laptop that I used in my last video, the Linux Mint video. This is the one, this is why it has Linux Mint on it. And you can see this is the last time I've got this Mint install. This was the Mint Ubuntu. It has served me well. I'm ready to try BunsenLabs on it. So here we go. Oh, I switched to the wrong thing. There we go. Okay, there's me. So I'm going to restart, and then while I boot it, I'm going to start answering some questions in the comments. So, okay, Marty asks, so if you're not a distro hopper, what's the relevance of not having to DDIF equal OF to a USB stick? That is a great question. And here's how I'll answer that question. There are times where I have 15 different ISOs and I am going in rapid succession trying to find the one that'll boot. And it is much easier to do that here than it is to do that through DD. That just takes a lot longer. I can literally go through 15 ISOs, one after another, with lightning speed compared with actually writing it. That would be the main one, is in troubleshooting. If it was simply and troubleshooting, you have to remember, in my previous role, I had to troubleshoot servers semi-frequently. So this was a thing, somebody would call me in, ask, hey, Veronica, can you take a look at this thing? And I would need to be able to see what I can boot and see what kind of recovery media I can work with. DD takes a lot longer than something like this. Okay, anyway, let's see. We are booting from the virtual CD-ROM. It registers. You can't see this, but it's registered. I'm hitting the button. It is welcoming to Grub. Okay, so we have Grub. I don't think you can see it. Let me see. Nope, you don't have any visibility on that yet. That's okay. I'm going to start the live system because I figure then I can at least set the, assuming it works, I can at least set the screens to mirror, hopefully. So, okay. While we're doing, I'm looking in the comments. Okay, we've got Ernie from Tedium. Hey, go check out Tedium. Go check out Ernie. Tedium is great. And I just keep reusing the same USB drive for installing new distros. There's nothing wrong with that. That works. That's fantastic. Okay, I have a desktop. It is booted. That's all it's showing. I can see, ooh, it thinks I have a 4K screen. Okay, hold, please. I'm gonna have to set this. So my capture card's in 4K, but this window's in not 4K. This window's in 1080. Let's see. Sick Pup asks, hi Veronica, how is the Plasma Debian testing combo treating you? I used Plasma for a while. I've actually been trying Sway recently, not because there's anything wrong with Plasma. I just wanted to try something different. Plasma was great. I absolutely loved Plasma. It doesn't have tiling, at least not the kind of tiling that I like. Okay, I'm going to R&R. I wonder if I can do this on the screen you can see. Okay, so here's what I got. This isn't right. Let's see what I can break. So I think it's thinking that my capture card is 4K. And so I'm going to try to tell it, nope, I can't force it. Shoot. Well, that's going to be silly. Can I like drag it over? Oh, resolution. There we go. Okay, I'm doing this in my OBS, so I can hardly see this. 1920. That looks like 1920 by 1080. Okay, there we go. Now they're the right size, and then I think I can this is A, R, and R. I haven't used this in a while. There we go. And then I hit the box, and you should see what I see. I don't think you can see what I see, but I think that's my capture card. Let's see if I can fix it. Properties. Nope. There we go. Okay. Can you see that okay? Oh, that's funny. So I need to find a way to stream in 4K. And I might need different equipment for that. Okay. It had this cute little welcome thing and it's gone now. I can see it down here. I'm not sure you can see that, but I can see that. Okay, I'm assuming the black screen has gone away. From my standpoint, it looks like it's there. So there we go. And now, let's just install it, maybe? I think that's probably the best. How do you install it? So the way that Openbox works, and this looks really nice, but I actually want to get this installed. You right-click to pull up a menu. Now, there's a few vintage computer systems that worked with the menu being something from the desktop. I'd like you all to comment on which one of those is your favorite. If you have vintage computer systems that worked in this way, where the right-click brings up the menu or the click brings up the menu on the desktop, there's a bunch of different options. I mean, okay, somebody said puppy. Oh, okay, yep, that's interesting. Okay, anyway, I'm getting distracted. We have to install this thing. Now, how do you install it? BunsenLabs install info? That's probably it. So here's what I did. I don't know if you can see this. I right-click, and I'm getting to all kinds of fun stuff that's distracting me, but I want to try installing this. So I went to System Settings. Did I go? And BunsenLabs install info. So let's see if this works. Install method, ISO, version, boron. Is that it? Okay, that can't be right. How do you install this? I mean, maybe this window that I hid is the key. Can I log out and log back in? User and the password is live. Okay. Let's see if this works. So it should be black, and my capture card's loving it. Okay, I'm going to go back to me, so that way you don't see that. Yep, okay. Okay, nope, it's still doing the thing it was doing. It's got a window over there that I can't get to. Can I drag it? You can't see. Okay. Nope. Capture card's still not happy. It's really not happy. Oh boy. It's live, people. There we go. Okay. Okay, somebody said it tells me how to install. Okay, let's find out. I might just have to go to that website. This doesn't, is it Etsy Bunsen install? Is that what they want me to do? I mean, I'll do that, sure. Whoop. I don't know what window I just closed. Oh no, I'm closing things. Middle click, drag, complete spitballing. I don't have a middle click. This thing only has 2 buttons. It's a 2-button mouse. Okay, search. I'm gonna say, ooh. There it is. Okay. So this was the screen I saw on the 4K little OBS thing. Now you can see it. Okay. Well, see, this is live. I'm making this up as I go. This live operating system allows you to test BunsenLabs without making any changes to your computer's hard drive. I want to make changes. Perform system recovery. That's nice. Okay, so you could use this as like a little mini system recovery tool. That's kind of cool. Right click. Can I install from here? To install this reboot. Oh no! I have to reboot and then install. Shoot. Okay, so leave a comment. Should I reboot and try to install even if you can't see it? Or should we just play around with the live CD? Let's make a poll. How do you make a poll? Engage with your audience. Start a poll. Should I reboot and install even if you can't see? Yes, reboot and install. No, just use live CD. Start poll. Okay, here we go. We're doing a poll. I don't know. This is fun. Okay. Well, while I wait for the poll, oh my goodness, the results seem pretty conclusive. You might not be able to see it because I don't have a camera up there to aim down here or a camera behind me to aim at it or anything like that. Do I want to retain, okay, Downscale asks, do I want to retain my original install? No, I don't care. There's nothing on this computer that I want anymore. I was diligent about backing up the files that I needed, but even then, it has been, what now, a month maybe since I was doing my Mint experiment, and so like I think I'm good. Okay, people are saying wipe it. I think it's, yep, we're pretty conclusive on wipe it. So I'm not worried about the installer being a low resolution. I'm literally worried about you not being able to see the installer. So we're gonna try it. We're gonna see what happens. Okay. Yep, it's gonna yell about the live media. I'm gonna literally unplug it. And now I'm gonna plug it back in. That's another nice feature about this is that if your installer, oh, hey, Trina. Ooh, hey, RetroTech Chris. I know some of you. Hey. So the one nice thing about this, here, let me go back to this. Well, oh no, I missed it. Okay, I got to reboot. One nice thing about using this thing is that it'll remember the last CD that I put in it, which is kind of nifty because there are a lot of times where I will install something, it will force the DVD or CD, the virtual CD out, it'll do an eject, and then I want to bring it back. And that is nifty. Okay, I'm mashing F12 over and over again in order to pull up, is it not booting? There we go, okay. I got the Dell logo, I'm trying to pull up a boot menu, there we go. I'm going to IODD virtual CD-ROM. And now it's grubbing. There we go. Okay, we've got start installer. People are F12, F5, F3, F8. I know, it's mashing all the different F buttons. Okay, so I've got an installer, and I don't think you can see it. Nope. This is what I was worried about. No installer. No ability to see the installer. Okay, I have a plan for this. This is absurd, but so am I. So there we go. Let's see if this works. Okay, I got me some BunsenLabs. All right. It's like the worst angle in the world. Okay, so it looks like this. And I'm hitting the buttons. This is just ridiculous. Oh my goodness. Okay. Now, it's not going to pick up Wi-Fi, I should mention, because I've turned that off at the hardware level on this laptop for this day. Just for reasons that are probably obvious. Okay, it's saying, I don't know if you can see this, you can't. I got a cable tying this up. Okay. Come on. Okay. So, this is just absurd. Can I move this a little bit? maybe? Okay, there we go. All right, that should be good enough. Okay, so here you can see it says Debian, which is interesting. This looks a lot like the Debian installer to me. Don't use a domain. User account. Okay, I'm putting this down for this. We're gonna slide this back. That was enough. That was enough of me holding it up. Okay, I'm walking through it. User account. I'll just do me and super secure password. Yep, it does. SickPup says it is the Debian installer just with custom graphics over it. Yes, it looks a lot like the Debian graphical mode installer, which is fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, I'm gonna guided use, so it's asking me guided use entire disk, guided use the largest continuous free space. I'm gonna say use entire disk. I'm gonna install it to the NVMe drive on board. All files in one partition. Let's just make it easy. We're doing no encryption because I want this to go quickly. Normally I would encrypt. Okay, Freeful says kind of like Crunchbang Linux but with Openbox. Yeah, it is Crunchbang Linux. I think it's the continuation. Didn't Crunchbang also use Openbox though? I might be wrong. Okay. We are writing changes. Oh, yep, I have to affirm it. Yes, write the changes to the disks. Okay, and while this is happening, because I can't just show you, it's creating file systems, let's look at the chat and let's talk. Trina says, I am betting the password is 1234. It's a little bit more complicated than that. It's a word that rhymes with last word. Let me put it that way. Let's see. Roosman says about all I use anymore is Debian. I like Debian. Debian's a good one. I use a lot of things for a lot of reasons, but when I have the choice, I tend to like Debian. That's kind of my thing. Let's see. Oh wait, Crunchbang did use Openbox. Yep, okay, I thought Crunchbang used Openbox. I'm using Crunchbang with Openbox. Dingo Kidneys, hi Dingo, says, I'm using Crunchbang with Openbox right now, an 11-year-old install. Yep, sounds about right. It's the spiritual successor to Crunchbang. I'm glad it's still around in some form. Yeah, me too. I don't think I ever actually used the original Crunchbang itself. I think I've only used Crunchbang ++, and even then only rarely, only for fun. I used Openbox on something and it wasn't Crunchbang. I don't think it was Knoppix, it was something I used as a recovery media, and it was a lot of fun. Let's see, Retrotech Chris says Debian and Raspbian at home, RHEL at work. Yeah, that's a way to do it. I did a whole video about RHEL. I have feelings about RHEL. I like the RHEL ecosystem, let me put it that way. Trina says, I am using Linux Mint 21.2 Cinnamon on my MacBook Pro 2012. That's fantastic. I love that. And I think I've got an idea for a video coming here where I take a Cinnamon install, like a fresh Cinnamon install, and I just try to mash it into looking like something completely different. I did one of these live streams a while ago with KDE Plasma, and people liked it. I think people had a good time with it, so that's fun. Okay, our Tableman says Linux Mint, but on a Chromebook at the moment. Stay tuned to my channel for a video about Chromebooks and Linux, because that's definitely doable. We just now got to installing the system, so I mean, it's I don't know if you can see it. I have a cable in the way. It's not cooperating. Okay. Zhao says, hello, cheers from Brazil. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but hi and welcome, and I'm glad you're here, and thanks for watching. It's very exciting. Mike Wood says, watching along on LMD E6. That's fantastic. Joseph says, I will always mash Linux Mint into Windows XP. It's what it feels most comfortable being to me. Yeah, okay, I am of the opinion, and this is a controversial opinion. I'm going to lose subscribers for this, but I don't care. I think Windows XP looked okay. Like, I actually didn't mind that look. I know, I'm watching my viewers just dropped. I actually liked the look of Windows XP. Did I like it more than, you know, the classic 98 or 95? No, but I didn't think it was terrible, especially for the time period where you have a lot of people for whom that was their first computer that they used at work, was a Windows XP computer. I can tell you so many instances of folks who the very first computer they used on the job was Windows XP, and they found it to be easier to use than like earlier systems when they had to interact with those. I get the logic behind XP was actually, I think they did an okay job. Especially, I forget who said it, if it was Brody talking about it on Mastodon, something. Windows actually demonstrates that it's possible to have a good light mode, at least old Windows. I don't know if Brody was talking about Windows XP or Windows 7, if I'm remembering correctly. Brody will talk about it in the comments, or go to his Mastodon. That's good. I don't think he's on the stream right now. Let's see, everybody's saying stuff. We're installing a grub bootloader, by the way. So we're almost done. Windows 3.1 with MS-DOS, yes. Let's see. My first job was writing Lotus macros in DOS. Yeah, that's definitely a thing. I wrote macros, but not Lotus macros. I did have like clerical stuff involving macros at one point. It was a lot of fun. Let's see, C64 load. Oh, we're talking, okay, it's, if you're trying to load files off a Commodore 64 disk, it would be load and then in quotes the asterisk and then (8), assuming 8 is your drive, and then 1, usually after that to say start at the beginning of what I think was the RAM, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember specifically why you use the (1). I think it clears up the RAM, but somebody's about to comment about it. So check the comments, you'll find it. Let's see. Oh, installation is complete. It's time to boot. Okay, we're booting. I'm hitting continue. I'm unplugging my IODD drive, which did a great job. Well done. Okay, so here we go. I've got a grub. It's version 2.06, which is the current Debian 12 version. Let's see, (1) is the first file. I don't think it's the first file. I think if I'm remembering, the (1) is like, that's not the first file. That loads the file it loads into memory at the beginning of memory, if I'm remembering correctly. But I might be off on my time. Dave with a super chat. Thank you, Dave. Very much appreciate that. Yep, 8, was device, and the load, (8) thing, and it's doing the thing again. You can't see this. Okay, I'm OBSing in real time. Okay. That's ridiculous. Okay. Super secret password. The problem that I'm running into, as you can see, is that I have a 4K capture card. Okay, so I can see some stuff. It's a cute little hello. Okay, this is neat. But I do want to make it so you can see all this. So I'm going to start by moving this up because we learned that the hard way last time. This looks pretty. You can't see it, but it does look pretty. I'm going to do the same thing I did before. So here, I'll show you what I'm doing. We're going into System Settings. I have to like go way in, way in. No, it's User Settings, I think, and then Display, and then AR&R, which loaded on the other screen, so you can't see it. Okay, so now I have to tell this is how you use AR&R, which might be useful if you ever have like a window manager or something. Okay, we're going to start with this. I'm going to see what kind of shocking this does to the system. Okay. Yep, and black screen. That is the capture card having an issue. I'm going to play with it again. There we go. Okay, so no, it's so small. Okay, I'm going to reset the transform. That's what I'm going to do. We're hitting the button, reset transform. OBS, people. All right, and now if I drag this over the top of this, and then I hit the button, now we should both be able to see the same screen. And that's how you use AR&R. So now you've learned something. Anyway, we got this cute welcome screen. It says, "Hi VKC, welcome to BunsenLabs Linux." I might be out of frame now. Nope, yep, it's focusing on my microphone. Okay, there we go. All right. Hi VKC, welcome to BunsenLabs Linux. This is an optional, can I make this bigger? Post-installation script to help you configure your Linux installation and get the most out of Bunsen Labs. You will now be presented with a series of options. To see the output of a previous page, you can scroll back in the terminal. If you do not want to run this script now, you can run it at a later date with the command bl-welcome. That's fun. Messages will be saved to a log. That's cool. Remember that BunsenLabs Linux and its component parts are released under the GNU GPL v3 Plus license and come without any warranties or support. Hit enter to continue or Q to quit. I'll hit enter. Oop, and now I got a sudo apparently. Yeah. Ooh, okay, this is new. All right, a warning. While FOSS is I've never had a distro do this before. While FOSS is primarily about freedom and choice, certain choices are known to carry an increased risk of breaking things in Bunsen Labs. Regular Debian doesn't do this, by the way. Two of the riskier things are adding Ubuntu PPAs or untrusted repos to your sources list or sources listee. Yeah, don't do that. I will say, one of the things that breaks Debian is that people go like, oh, I want to try to add some repo that I saw on some forum that, you know, I did a Google search for how to install Microsoft Teams and I came up with this great repo and now I'm going to install it. And then Debian breaks and they go, Debian is not stable. And it's like, well, you're just not supposed to do that with Debian. And if that's something you need, that's when to consider something like an Ubuntu or, you know, something that where that's built in. It's one of the differences between Debian and Ubuntu. And I think that it makes a great experience for somebody who's willing to accept what the distro is offering. Robert with the super chat, thank you, says, great content, Veronica, keep it up. Thank you, Robert, I appreciate that. Mew Mew says, Debian really needs to block PPAs or something. I mean, I don't know what you do. Okay, so let's continue with the Openbox enjoyment here. Can I make this even bigger? Yep, okay, they even link to Don't Break Debian. This is a really, what happens if I click the link? Does it, okay. What terminal is this? This is kind of nice. We're just trying things now. Okay, it looks like it immediately boots up Firefox. Advice for new users on not breaking their Debian system. I love like it's got a little thing. That's cute. Ooh. Seb is classed with the super chat. Thank you. Super happy to contribute to your new venture as a Linux content creator. Rock on. Thank you, Seb. And I appreciate that. Thank you. I will say the one time I'll say it, patreon.com/Veronica Explains or ko-fi.com/Veronica Explains. And you can find both of them at support.linux.mom if you want to join and get the weekly like newsletters that I send out, or just the behind the scenes stuff. That's the one time I'll do it. I'm trying not to spam people too much about that. Kevin says, I tuned in right at the end, but went back and I'm downloading the ISO now. I will be installing in a VM in a few minutes. You're not at the end. We only just now got this installed. Anyway, go check out Don't Break Debian. It's wiki.debian.org/don'tbreakdebian, and highly recommend it. Okay, so that's a good link. Oh, it even tells me how to do it. That's so great. Please type OK to continue with the script. What is the script? What is it? Is it just, I mean, okay, type OK. Okay, now it is updating software sources, checking sources, and upgrading installed packages. So before we can continue, we need to make sure your system's software is up to date. This script will execute the commands sudo apt-get update and sudo apt-get upgrade with new packages. Okay, that all sounds good. It's doing a lot of like helping me out as a new user. Kind of impressed. Like, that's kind of cool. What do you think? Do you like, I suppose if you're a seasoned Linux user, something like this is just absurd. Or it might at least feel like it's too much. I know how to do this stuff, but it's nice. Like, I'm trying to think in the mind of a new person, like this could be cool. Yeah, Joseph says, this is good for learning Linux. I agree. This seems nice. Fred says, howdy from the Ozarks. We'll definitely mention the Don't Break Debian page on the website for a distro I recently created, also based on Debian stable. Fred, thank you for creating a distro. That's exciting. And yeah, Don't Break Debian. It's great. I love the Don't Break Debian page. It's helpful. At least I think it's helpful. Okay. It's going to update Firefox ESR, that's the extended support release. So Debian typically ships an older Firefox that gets additional support from Mozilla. That's helpful. And then an X server. Openbox is based on X, no Wayland here, which may or may not be a problem. I don't think there's an Openbox based on Wayland. If there's an Openbox on Wayland, leave a comment. I don't think there is. This is a neat script. I mean, I wouldn't use it if it didn't already pop up, but I'm enjoying this. Isenkram is software to check your system for missing firmware. Okay, that's cool. We'll see if this little laptop has any missing firmware. If non-free packages are needed, the necessary apt sources will be enabled automatically. I mean, that's cool that it's offering. I wish it would give me I mean, it's giving me the option. I can say no. I'll say yes. We'll try it. Maybe it'll break something. Okay, Sandro says Waybox is an Openbox Wayland clone. That could be neat to check out at some point. Let's see. Openbox on Wayland is called Wayfire. Wayfire isn't really Openbox though, is it? Erusman asks, is that conky on the side there, what kernel? I believe that's conky, and this should be Debian 12. It's just Bookworm. So 6.4 probably, last time I checked. I don't remember exactly what Bookworm is running. Okay, a package is available which will notify you of Debian packages which can be upgraded. Okay, so this is Bunsen apt update checker. Sure, let's do it. Debian backports. Okay, so now we're talking backporting. This is cool. Backports cannot be tested as extensively as Debian stable. and are provided on an as-is basis with the risk of incompatibilities with other components in Debian stable. It is therefore recommended to only select single backported packages that fit your needs and not use all available backports. This is true. Generally speaking, with backporting, don't pull all of them. Just pull the ones you need. So this will add the line to the sources list, I'm not going to read the whole thing. You can read. It's basically adding the Bookworm backports, and it's getting it directly from Debian. I will enable it. Sure, why not? Downscale seems displeased. This is why I bought Windows. You know I picked a distro that isn't aimed at beginners, right? Like, I mean, this part is nice for beginners, but you're not using Openbox if you're new at this. You're using something, I don't know, like Linux Mint, like what I bombed out of here from. Linux Mint babies you. It walks you through everything, and so is this. But with Linux Mint, you can just X out and it'll keep up. Let's see. Sudo apt-get install -t. Okay, so it's gonna run, it's gonna do the backports, and no, it's adding it, and then I can install from backports the package that I need. I'm not gonna do any of that today probably because it's just Debian and I know how that works. There's BunsenLabs backports. BunsenLabs backports are packages taken from other Debian or Debian-based releases or other sources such as GitHub, adjusted and recompiled for usage on Debian stable. Okay, this is now distinguishing BunsenLabs from vanilla Debian. And that, I mean, there's some risk involved with that. Like, now we're getting away from vanilla Debian. I mean, I'll do it. And now it's saying, successfully added BunsenLabs backports. Press, okay, there we go. Install Bluetooth. By default, it does not come with Bluetooth support. I'm going to skip Bluetooth because I think I've got my Bluetooth radio disabled. Install Java. I do not want Java. Why would I use Java? I mean, I'm a COBOL dev. I guess I shouldn't pick on it, but... Oh, geez. Are people making... There's a Veronica Linux? People are making a Veronica Linux. Veronica Linux based on NixOS. I have not used NixOS yet. Let's see. Oh, Channel 7 says Java would be to play Minecraft. Okay, that makes sense. I'm there. I don't want to pick on it. I work in COBOL or worked in COBOL. People use ancient languages all the time for good things. I don't want to pick on it. I'm not going to do the developer stuff. Okay, so this script, it will first do an apt update, then it'll check the firmware and do the apt update checker stuff, or it'll install that, and then it will actually run the isencram. It's probably a physics thing, isn't it? So, yep, go for it. Okay. Oh, see you later, Amy. I'm so glad to have seen you here today. I'm sorry if you were in the chat and I didn't see you. Hi, Amy, and bye. I'm glad you're having fun. Let's see, RetroTech Chris wrote a Java program that runs on Windows 98 recently. Okay, I want to know more. Did you make a video about that, Chris? You should make a video about that. That sounds great. You know, Daniel, some folks are suggesting that the Java thing might be, oh, I gotta hit a button. That the Java thing might actually be because of Minecraft, and that would make sense. Amy, you're the best. Oh my goodness. Bye, Amy. Yeah, pop back. I don't know how late it will go. We have 354 concurrent viewers. Oh my goodness. Hi, everybody. Oh, yeah, Chris, if you're making Java apps for Windows 98, please make a video about that. Please make a video about that. Okay, it's been installed Eisenkram. What is Eisenkram? Is this like a physics thing, you know, or like a chemistry thing? Because we got the Bunsen burner as like the theme here. If you know what Eisenkram is, let me know. Let's see. Azure Sky says Java's an ancient language now. Yeesh, I didn't know I was that old. No, I'm being facetious. I'm not actually picking on Java. Did not find any firmware files requested by loaded current. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. This is running Linux Mint before it picked up any firmware issues that it had. Finished. Thank you for selecting BunsenLabs. There are many ways you can tweak the system to suit your needs. Getting started. That's exciting. Help and support. That's exciting. Scripts tutorial. This is nice that they're pointing you to forums. Okay. It's gonna be all me here because I'm gonna complain about something for just a minute. I do not like when software projects point you to Discord. I got a bit of a thing about this recently. I don't hate Discord. I'm not picking on Discord. But what I don't like about Discord as a means to get documentation and engagement with an open source project and a community is that Discord hides the discussion and the documentation away from where search engines and kind of the natural order of where we collect information can go to retrieve it. And having to be signed in to what is effectively a social network feels like a really bad way to encourage an open source community. That's my personal take on it. And I've seen this more and more with open source projects. I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus, but seeing here that they are pointing you to forums, stuff that is public, stuff that you can see without being signed in, I'm a big fan of that. Ooh, yep, Discourse is better than Discord for support. I hear you, yep. Oh, geez, yes, people are jumping in. Let's see, yep. I'm not picking on Discord as a chat app. I'm not picking on Discord as a means to have a discussion with friends. Is it my preferred? No, but will I do it? Sure. But as a means to actually have an open source community project, I love forums. I'm a big fan of forums. I'd almost rather have you be on Reddit than Discord, because at least with Reddit you can go and do a search without being signed in. With Discord, that's not going to be a thing. Oh, Trina's saying I'm putting down Discord. Again, I'm not trying to pick on Discord as a product. I'm picking on Discord as a way for open source communities to have their documentation and their forums and their project discussions. I think that should all be done in the open. Yep, Caffeinated Linux says, I could see Discord as a way to attract those who may not wish to use IRC I'm not sure, or Matrix, but it should be in conjunction with forums and not replace forums. I couldn't agree more. I think Discord is a great way to get engagement from folks who don't know these other platforms. I just don't think it should replace forums. There's a ton of stuff I think forums are really great at. And one thing Discord is pretty good at is, something closed, closed community. But yeah, it's not necessarily my thing for an open source project. Okay, anyway, there we go. We got this thing and now we're in here. So I like this on the side. This I forget what this is called. This has a name. We just talked about it. But it tells you the shortcut keys, which is nice. I really like this. So I can hit super to start a menu. That is really cool. Super tab starts a client menu. That's neat. So is this where I can manage desktops? No, add a new desktop. Okay. Oh, okay, so it's like desktop 1, desktop 2. Oh, cool, okay. So it looks like we have our desktop switcher here. Conky, thank you. Yep, this thing is Conky. Mach 7 Radio Intercept says, forums are bloat. Let's use male reflectors. You know, I can spin up a BBS. I'm just saying. Yep. Oh, Alex says, remember BBS. Yes. We're going back. We're going all the way back. Yeah, Discord, Elmist says, Discord has its place, but is not an information repository. Yeah, that's my thing. Discord is fine as Discord, but it's not a repository. It shouldn't be treated like, oh, we have the documentation in our Discord. Don't do that. I think that's bad. Sick Pup says guest books. I have one of those. Okay, so let's do, oh, there's so many things. Super E is an editor? What editor is it picking? Geany, okay. Geany's a fine editor. I think there's a Vim mode in Geany. I haven't used it in a while. Super T for the terminal. I've been using Sway recently, so I've actually gotten used to Super Enter for their terminal. Okay, so Super T, I want to try something. We're going to make 2 terminal windows. And now I can see Super and Arrow will tile a half screen. So, yep, it's very Windowsy. Does it automatically? No. Okay, so it doesn't look like it scales. You know, on like a tiling window manager, if I slide the one, the other moves along with it. This does not seem to do that, which, I mean, you might like that. You might dislike that. Bobby says, so glad you're doing BunsenLabs, the best Openbox window manager desktop environment. Yeah, this is fun. I'm having a good time. Let's see, Alt-Tab is switch windows, so that sounds right. Alt-F4 is close. When did Alt-F4 become close? Was it it wasn't a standard in DOS, but it was like a de facto in DOS, right? Was Alt-F4 closed before then? Ooh, we might have some screen tearing here. Are we having screen issues? Windows 95 or 3.1. DOS used Alt-X. You're right, didn't it? So Alt-F4 must have come after that. Yeah, Alt-X, now that I think about it. I mean, it's been a while since I like used DOS on a regular basis. Let's see, somebody said seed is very slow right now. I'm not sure what that means. Is everything okay with the stream? Like, here, I'm doing this. I'm not getting any alerts about dropped frames or anything. It's saying I have an excellent connection, so hopefully it's okay. The viewers dropped a little bit. Oh, torrent seed of Bunsen. Oh, so you all are torrenting. Do it. That's fantastic. Do it. Do it. Please, let's do that. Okay, there's a file finder. Let's just I'm digging in now. Catfish file search. Okay, let's I don't know. What's a file? Sources. No files found. What oh, does it start? It's in home. Okay. How fast does it search the entire file? That's wow. Holy crap. That's pretty good for a graphical program. This is fantastic. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's neat. Okay, so it's got this program. I don't think this isn't specific to them, is it? This is really cool. Huh. That could be neat. Okay, what terminal are we using? Is it going to give me any indication on what terminal it is? I mean, we should do this first. God, NeoFetch is bloat. There's a lot of stuff in NeoFetch. Is it LX terminal? Okay, I wasn't sure. Hey, they even have a NeoFetch thing. That's you know what? I could make that bigger. Look at that. Okay, so if that helps anybody, this is really pretty. Okay, I'm going to say it. This is pretty. We are on kernel 6.1. That's kind of surprising because Debian 12, you know what? Debian 12 might actually, now I'm thinking about it. Is Debian 12 on 6.1? I mean, might be. There you go. Desktop environment, BunsenLabs, Window Manager, Openbox. That's really cool. And look at how little memory is being used at rest here. That is very neat. Okay. All right. So far, I'm a fan. I'm enjoying this. Ooh, fast fetch. People, oh, okay. People are telling me something I didn't know. I wasn't aware. You know, I don't follow like the Reddit threads on what the Unix people are doing right now, but are we doing something different that isn't neofetch now? Oh, geez, people are really jumping in. Okay, fast fetch. Fast fetch? Okay, sudo apt install. Is fast fetch in the repos? Nope. What if I just search for fetch? I'm going to try to make fetch happen. Yeah, I don't see any. I suppose I could have searched for fast fetch. Whoa! Ah! What did I just do? Okay, apparently. Apparently, if I scroll on the desktop, it's switching desktops. But it'll scroll with inertia. So if I do like I mean, avert your eyes, but if I scroll quickly, yeah, it's like, why is there inertia in the scrolling? That's an interest. That's not a choice I would make. Oops. Okay. Yeah, inertial scrolling for touchpads causing it. That's hilarious. Okay, apparently neofetch is like done. People are done with neofetch. Donald's gonna send me a PPA. Don't send me a PPA for this. Let's see. That says fast fetch. Fast fetch. Okay. Nope. I don't see it. It's not in there. What was the other one? P-fetch? I don't want to build a fetch from scratch. No, I'm not building a fetch. Okay. Tell me fetches that you like comment, send, I don't know, hi fetch. There's the other one. Okay, I don't think I'd search for that one. There needs to be a fetch in Debian that's maintained. I mean, come on. I mean, yeah, I could go like compile it, but I don't want to. Okay, I'm gonna keep using neofetch. Anyway, it's fine, whatever, it doesn't matter. This is all neat, I like it. Okay, send to desktop, so I can send to a desktop. You saw it moved from up here to down there. Trina asks, what does a fetch do? It's a way to gloat, basically. The idea here is that there's a program called neofetch that pulls your user, your Linux's statistics, the information about its current uptime, what distro you're using, what window manager you're, here, I'll show you. I'll run the neofetch because it's still in the repos. So it shows you all this information, and people like to share screenshots of their fetch. That's or their neofetch or whatever. I have never used anything but neofetch for this. Dan says I should stop trying to make fetch happen. Clearly, if you pay attention to the Debian repos, it's never gonna happen. Everybody's still on neofetch, so there we go. John said, I think John's installing it on Fedora, if I'm remembering correctly, and says this is my first time using fast fetch. I might dig around on it later. Okay, so let's see what else is in this thing before I, wind down the stream or maybe take questions or something. The web browser we already saw is Firefox. There we go. It has Google as a search engine. It's default Firefox. That's what you get. I'm going to close that. I have not been using Google. I have not used a search engine in like 2.5 weeks. Okay, if you follow me on Mastodon, you know some of the background as to why. And I'm doing an experiment where I get information without search engines, just to see how it could be done. And it's really challenging. And I'm gonna probably do a video about it at some point about what I'm learning about my own brain thanks to not using search engines for a little bit. But oh my goodness, like there is so much goofiness about search right now, and language models are making it worse. And I think we're at an uncanny valley right now where the language models are not good enough to help bring us out of lousy searches. And I don't know that this is a place worth going, frankly. But I've been making a lot of bookmarks and trying to do things there and just not using search engines, and it's challenging. But yeah, oh my goodness. Howity says, does a library catalog count as a search engine? No, I've been actually relying on the library a lot recently. SickPup says use Start Page for search. I have used Start Page. I don't hate Start Page. Elin says not even DuckDuckGo. No, I'm not using DuckDuckGo. This isn't, I hate search engines, so I'm not using them. Here's why. I'm not gonna do that. This is an experiment. And it's an experiment about my brain and how my brain searches for information, how my brain is cataloging that information and what I'm doing with it. Taking away a core component of how I use the internet and forcing myself to work around it is really enlightening. I'm not suggesting you try it. It's not a stance. It did start with some frustrations about how search engines are going, but it's evolved beyond that at this point into an experiment in the same way one might go to the gym every day for a month to see how they feel. It doesn't necessarily make them a fitness guru, if that makes sense. That's kind of how I'm thinking about it. When I do use search, I'm usually alternating at this point between DuckDuckGo and Start Page. And it just depends on what I'm looking for. And it tends to be I get better answers about tech stuff using Start Page, and I get better answers about life stuff using DuckDuckGo. You're all just seeing the screen. I'm not. Okay, what else do you want to see in this fancy new distro here? I've been playing with it. Do we have a screenshot tool? We have a screenshot tool. Can I select a region? I can. That's helpful. That's kind of nifty. Look at that. It's got host on Imgur. I'm not going to do that. Let's open it with the, okay, what image viewers do we have? We have Ristretto and we have BunsenLabs image viewer, I'm guessing? What's the BunsenLabs image viewer? This looks like the GNOME image viewer. Isasi asks, is Steam pre-installed? I highly doubt it. Let's find out. I am not, so just to be clear to folks who might have just joined, this is my first time using this. I am new at this distro and Steam does not look installed. Is Flat, yeah, I don't know if FlatHub is set up by default. I'm guessing, yep, there's no Flatpak either. I'm sure I could install Flatpak. Did I just see, okay, MJDXP says, oh, this is XFCE's screenshot tool. Yeah, it looked like it. I haven't used XFCE in a while. Wallpapers. Okay, let's wallpaper. Okay, so we got this. I can hit apply. Look at that. That's pretty. That becomes really hard to see. That's nice. I think this is what we had. Except, I mean, 1920 by 1080. There we go. That's a little better. I like a good selection of wallpapers. That one's not bad. That's pretty. Networks. Okay, let's see this. Oh, I like that. Yeah, that is nice. That's very nice. Okay. I mean, wallpapers alone don't make a distro great, but I gotta say, I do like what I'm seeing here. Like, this is neat. This is cool. I like this notion of the sidebar being the window switcher too. That is nifty. We've got a toggle. This looks like this might be from XFCE. I'm not sure. Got the network. Is this a clipboard manager? We got a clipboard manager, Clipman. That's nice. Some people love their clipboard manager. We can control the display brightness. Try doing that in Sway. I'm making fun of Sway. You can totally do that in Sway. Yeah, Caffeinated Linux says, I appreciate Conky on the right with all the shortcuts. Completely same. Yes. Oh, Daniel with a super chat. Thank you. Love your channel. Thank you. Appreciate it. I appreciate the super chat. It's helping make all of this possible because that's how it goes. I don't know what to say. Thank you. System tools. Sure, let's try some. I mean, I don't know what's in here. It's got Synaptic, it looks like. Login settings. It looks like this might be the system tools. Okay. It literally just opened up a text file. That's your system tools. I kind of love it. I'd have opened it up in Vim, but that's okay. Oh, I like that. Okay, so this does lead me to a question though. You know, we had that nice little intro screen that explained, if you weren't here when I got this installed and then ran it for the first time, it had it opened up the terminal and had a great walking through what it's doing. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Like, is that an intermediate user thing or is that a beginner user thing? I think that might be sufficient for intermediate Linux users, explaining a little bit about what Debian does, especially if you're not familiar with how Debian works. That's a really nice way to get into it. Oh, Trina, you're taking off. Thank you. Have a great night, and we'll talk. Go follow Trina. Trina's Technobabble on YouTube. Go do that. Trina's great. Dave wants me to look at sound controls. That intro thing, maybe that's sufficient. Like, maybe I would call this an intermediate level Linux distro, not a beginner's distro. I think I'm comfortable with that. Sound controls. I mean, there is this thing. Okay. So right out the gate, we have what looks like Pulse Audio. Can I test? Let's see. I don't remember how to test on here. Oh yeah, this, I think, okay. This might be, is it Pavu Mixer? Okay. But I would think the back end might be Pulse Audio. Well, okay, I know what I'll do. Let's open up Firefox. How do I open up Firefox? Web browser. Okay, there we go. And let's go to youtube.com/Veronica Explains. And then, I'm not going to put on this live stream. Should I put on this live stream? Oh God, it's showing an ad. Why is it showing an ad? Well, the audio works, but oh my, what even is this? This is terrible. Can I skip it? Okay, there's me. We have recursion. That's great. Okay, I'm gonna close that out. I'm in the chat. Yeah, Freeful says, I got that because I'm not logged in. It's called corporate greed. It's the greediest. Let's see. Yeah, ad blockers. Absolutely. Okay. Yeah, there's no uBlock on here either. Okay. Has anybody tried out LibreWolf yet? I've been playing with LibreWolf. And it's definitely fun. I'm not using it right now because LibreWolf has stricter requirements, and I didn't want to do a stream with it, but it's definitely not in the Debian repos, and I don't think it installs in Debian very well. I did want to see though, I think uBlock should be in here. Yep, there it is. So let's do apt install webext uBlock. Did you know you can install uBlock right from the terminal? So now, if I boot up Firefox, I should have uBlock now. Maybe not? Where's uBlock? Come on, uBlock. I might need to restart. Maybe after a restart it'll do that. But yes, you can install uBlock right from the terminal. Which, okay, so if you're the kind of person who uses, oh, I can't talk about it. Okay, I want your brain to fill in the blanks about the thing I'm trying to do. I'm not telling you how to get around YouTube. There's a lot of great utilities for not, I'm gonna get yelled at by YouTube. They're gonna take down my stream. Anyway, dig into the Debian repos on this a little bit, because there's some fun stuff there. And in my last video, I hid a thing that if you go look it up, you might enjoy it. So it's a lot of fun. Okay, so anyway, how long have I been live here? We've got 356 concurrent viewers. Oh my goodness. Hi, everybody. Okay, so I figured now might be a good time for a little bit of Q&A. So if anybody wants to do some Q&A in the stuff while we figure this out, that would be great. I see people sharing parts of software in the comments, which I'm glad I can help you share parts of software in the comments. Yep, that's wonderful. Let's see. Freeful asks, what was my first Linux distro? I actually did a video about it. It was Ubuntu Warty Warthog, I believe Warty Warthog anyway. It was about early 2005, and I had an eMachines, and I wanted to run Linux because I'd heard of Firefox, and I was really impressed with Firefox. I was always a Netscape kid and in the 90s, and I heard Firefox existed, and I was like, oh, I need to try Firefox. And then I figured out that there were open source software. I didn't know what that was, and it was like, wow, I kind of like that. So then I switched to Linux with Ubuntu, and I've really never looked back. It's been fun. So I've used just about everything since then. I switched from, let's see, Ubuntu to OpenSUSE to Ubuntu Studio for a while, then back to OpenSUSE, and then I ran that with Ubuntu on a server for a while, and then my servers kind of bopped back and forth between Ubuntu and then eventually Debian and then CentOS and then back to Debian and then Ubuntu stuff, and then I started doing production work, and then it just kind of blossomed and it was whatever people would do. COBOL tended to like RHEL-based stuff a little bit more. It's just what they build against. And occasionally I'd pull out a FreeBSD for that. So Every Day asks, has AI affected my job much? If you're talking about my last job, the COBOL stuff, no. I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's going to affect the COBOL universe directly, but the indirect effect will be that at least my prediction is that AI's increased productivity, if you want to call it that. Another word for it might be downsizing departments, will result in companies switching from COBOL to AI-powered stuff. That's how I figure AI is going to end up impacting COBOL. If you're talking about YouTube, yeah, it impacts every step of YouTube, or at least it really wants to. And you know, like I use the one thing I use a language model for pretty consistently, and I don't feel bad about this, is helping me align my captions. I don't let AI or a language model do the captions for me. I do that myself. I usually have scripted videos. But I would be lying if I didn't say that Google's ability to align my script with the words that I'm saying hasn't been helpful, and they're certainly using language modeling for that. I've tested some offline stuff with language modeling using my own hardware just for captions and getting subtitles right, and especially for things like this, an unscripted event. And I don't feel bad about that as a good use of a language model, as a good use of AI. But certainly I do worry about the encroachment of AI in both the comments and dealing with spam, as well as the content eventually being dominated by inauthenticity. That's all I'll say about it. I don't think we're there yet, but I'm concerned we will approach it. I don't like that. Let's see. What was that flower chat app back in the days? ICQ. You're probably thinking ICQ. ICQ was fun. Did I hear about NixOS? Yes. Haven't tried it yet. It's not a stance that I haven't tried it yet. I don't think there's anything wrong with NixOS. Just haven't used it. Haven't had time. What NixOS worries me about, and worry might not be the right word, worry in my own head, like what gives me anxiety about using NixOS is kind of a similar thing to my experience with OpenSUSE, which is that administering a system that doesn't do things the way that I know can be a little intimidating. If I have a concern about NixOS, it's that. But that's purely a me problem. That's not a you problem. If you like Nix, use Nix. Yeah, Tristan says AI is awful for the environment. Yeah, at present, that absolutely seems like the case, especially yeah, the way that it's being used for entertainment has me more than a little troubled. I do think there are good uses for it. I'm not going to say all AI is evil, because, like, where does that end? I don't like absolutes like that, but generally speaking, yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. Do I use Discover for Debian software install? Discover being the KDE Plasma installer. Yeah. When I'm using KDE Plasma, sure, especially around Flatpak. I tend to be more of a terminal person, but yeah, Discover's good. I like Discover. I've had some problems with Discover getting out of sync or having, I don't know if it's showing me all of the updates. Problems that I seem to not have when I try the same kind of thing on GNOME software. So I don't know, I mean, Plasma is about to do version 6. I'm sure there'll be a period of bugs and then adjustment and then making it better. So that's going to be great. Let's see. People are saying, I'm seeing somebody's talking about a typewriter. Go bring a typewriter. I don't know what the context is about that, but I'm a fan of typewriters. Electronic typewriters are the best, but okay, we're talking about typewriters now. You all talk about typewriters. I'm not enough of an expert in typewriters. I just think they're neat. Insert Marge. I just think they're neat. Let's see. How many instruments do I play? That's a good question. I've got my guitar here, or one of my guitars. I actively play guitar, bass, and like synths. That's what I'm active at. I used to play horn instruments, especially in high school and then after I was doing teaching. And I got a little bit of experience with drums, but it's mostly, at this point, it's mostly guitar and bass. I also have a choral background, so I've done a lot of singing. Let's see. Have I ever tried Gopher? The main search engine is Veronica too. I got a whole fun thing I'm thinking about with Gopher. There's been some movement on it. I forget what it's called, but there's like a kind of a cross between Gopher and like the early web that's popping up. And I don't remember exactly who's doing it, but it looked really interesting and I was interested in learning more. Gopher, if you're not familiar with it, is an older mechanism. It predates the web, but it uses the internet as its carrier, and it's very similar to like the early web, but it's more textual, or it's more text-based. And it's still around, it's still kicking. Gemini, thank you. George Dorn says Gemini. I think that is absolutely what it's called. I'm very excited, interested in learning more. I saw that. Alex Seib says slap into bass. Yeah, do it. I don't slap. I can't. I don't have that level of skill with the bass, with da bass. Let's see. Have I ever tried MX Linux? It's based on Debian, but does not require the use of systemd. I don't care about the systemd thing. I'm just going to be, I know some people are going to be really upset about it. I don't care. I like systemd just fine. I'm not interested in litigating that. That decision was made a long time ago for me, and it's what I know. As a sysadmin, it's what's there. That said, I would certainly try MX Linux just to try it. I'm not opposed to things that don't use systemd. I'm not an evangelist. I just like what I use and I'm comfortable with it. A bunch of people are saying systemd is just fine. I agree, systemd is fine. The algorithm's gonna tell you it's not. The algorithm likes controversy. It likes somebody who says, you shouldn't use systemd. You know, get off of your stuff or whatever. And I'm not that person. I'm gonna tell you, use what you want. It's fine. If you don't like systemd, don't use systemd. Yeah, I can't, Fred says, I can't tell if it's any better or worse than sysvinit or whatever. I mean, I tend to like systemd, but I was a system administrator. I learned it, and it works for me. Yeah, as a sysadmin, systemd makes me do my, I can't tell because makes me do my work fast and easy. I think that's what this person said. This person has no name. Yeah, that's how I feel. Systemd, like it simplifies my life to use systemd, so that's good. Ooh, Channel 7 apparently has a good question, and then I can't see it. Where's Channel 7? What do you want us to ask that we're not asking you? Ooh. Oh, I haven't thought about that. What's my next video about? Somebody should ask me what my next video is about, because there's a lot of stuff happening with it. Okay, do I use Linux for music production? Yes, and I have for 15 years. I'm doing less music production now than I used to, but I currently, for the channel, I'm using Bitwig Studio, which is proprietary, but they support Linux, and it's great. It combines some of the workflow of trackers with traditional DAW, and for me, I like that. I like composing in some of their particular views, and they have a free trial, and I believe it's on FlatHub, so go check it out. Let's see. Can you talk about my watch, Socket Wench, with the good question? Thank you. This is a Casio data bank. It has a calculator. That's not a joke. It actually has a calculator. And it's not a smartwatch. I don't want a smartwatch. It is literally the same model, I believe. I said literally, and then I said I believe. So I can't prove it, but I believe this is the same model Marty McFly used in Back to the Future. That's not why I bought it. I just liked it and picked it up, and I wear it almost every day. Yep. Okay. People are chatting in the chat here. Folks are talking about Ardor, the DAW. I like Ardor. Ardor doesn't do as much with synthetic instruments, and that has become, as I've gotten away from live drumming, that's become a pretty critical piece of my workflow. I would love it if there was an open source virtual drummer that sounded great. I'm having a hard time with that. It looks like Dave is taking off. Oh yeah, great chat. Have a good night. Thanks, Dave. I appreciate it. Oh, all kinds of discussion happening now. Have you ever tried Reaper as a DAW? I have not more than maybe 5 minutes on it, so I can hardly talk about it. I've used Ableton. Ableton I liked. Ableton is not going to work on Linux. That's probably the last time I used Windows as my operating system. Ableton was my DAW. Channel 7 asks, what's my next video going to be about? I am so glad you asked, because I am doing a video on the open source cartridge reader, which is a total left field for me. Basically, it's an open source piece of hardware where you can read your video game cartridges, and you don't need a computer in the middle, and it can read like 1,000 different cartridge types. I'm over-exaggerating, but it can also do save states, it can do ROM files. It's amazing. Building my own ROMs, building my own ROM library from my own cartridges, and then it makes the hunt for cartridges fun, even if you don't have the original systems or don't use the original systems every day. I love the hunt for cartridges, but I also check out recyclers, so it's kind of a fun thing. Yeah. People talking in the chat about backup. Yes, the idea, being able to back up your video game, like your Super Nintendo save, the same way you would back up your server is huge. This is really cool stuff, and I love that this is something that there's a piece of open source hardware that you can get the bill of materials and build yourself. It's amazing, and I can't wait to show you in the video because it's a ton of fun. I've been working on this video for like a month. I got sick right at Christmas, like right after I published the Linux Mint video. And then I get sick. I get COVID. And it was real bad, and I was fine. Like I was fine, but I was laid up in bed. And then I lost the ability to record the talking head for it. So I had all the footage, but no talking head. And it took a while for my voice to come back, and it took a while for other stuff to happen, and it's fine now. But yeah, we're back on track with it now. But yeah, the timing for actually recording all the stuff for this has been nuts. It's done now, and hopefully the video comes out in the next week or so. Let's see, can I create a database of cartridge images? I can, but I can't share it with you because that would be piracy, and I don't want to get in trouble. There are databases of cartridge images. You can search it to find it. What are Linux YouTube channels that you watch? You've mentioned Learn Linux TV, but maybe others also. That's an excellent question. I watch a lot of kind of my YouTube flavor of choice that I like watching more than anything else is retro YouTube. It's vintage hardware YouTube. If you're not already subscribed, I really want Action Retro to get over 100,000 subs, because if anybody deserves it, it's Sean from Action Retro, and he's like so close. So and he does Linux stuff too. I should mention he does Linux stuff. So like especially Linux on PowerPC or Linux on some old piece of hardware. Like he did this great video about Ubuntu on a Mac, like a MacBook Air, like an 11-inch computer. Go subscribe to Action Retro. He's fantastic. He bridges that gulf between retro and Linux for me. A little bit of A, a little bit of B. As far as Linux YouTube, I just hit the thing. As far as Linux YouTubers specifically, it's hard to come up with a list right off the top of my head. I'm trying to think of folks you might not know. I watch a lot of the big ones. Learn Linux TV, Tom. As far as home labber stuff, I like Techno Tim. I like Jeff from Craft Computing. I like Jeff Geerling. A lot of these, but those are bigger YouTubers. I'm trying to think of smaller YouTubers in the Linux space, but it is like 8:30 and they're not coming to me. Yeah, I don't watch as much YouTube as I used to either, so I don't know who's currently active or not. Did I do a demo of BunsenLabs already? Yes, you missed it. Sorry. it's still here. Like, I still have it up. There it is. It's fun. You missed the intro and all the stuff, but you can go back and watch it at the end. Let's see. Yeah, Linux Cast is good and also a small channel. There's one. Yeah, I do agree there. Chris Titus Tech is huge. People are talking about that. Let's see. So, okay. Now we're just talking about YouTubers we like. I think I'm going to wrap it up here because it is 8:30. I actually have to go finish dinner, and I've got a busy day tomorrow, and then I'm going to be doing some editing and some fun stuff, and hopefully you get a video out early next week. So it's the exciting thing. Anyway, this has been super fun. I think my verdict on BunsenLabs, just based on the very surface level, is go ahead and try it. I'm so intrigued by this. I might do a full video on this because this is really cool, but I kind of want to compare it with Crunchbang, and maybe that compare and contrast between this and Crunchbang++. I think that could be a lot of fun. So I think that's something that I'm going to look forward to. If there's anything else you want to see that I didn't talk about with BunsenLabs here, go comment on the actual video itself. In the comments here, it might get lost, but comment on the actual video and we'll figure that out. And I just thank you so much to all of you in the subs, all of you in the chat. This has been really great. I love doing stuff like this. I'm glad I get to do it a lot more now. So hopefully this just keeps on rolling and we just keep having a good time. Anyway, thank you so much to all of you. And as always, Linux is awesome and so are you. And we will see you next time. Bye, everybody. End.